So this video is a little bit different. I don't have any children creating the crafts. I will just show you these 5 gifts and how you can make them. I am starting with my standard way of showing you cookie cutter, copycat crafts. I'm using a wreath because that's the first gift that I will show you. So here are these cookie cutter, copycat crafts that are not very creative, and then I move right into showing you how to make them in a creative fashion. For these wreaths, I'm going to use plates. Now, I have these 3 plates, and these are both, this is like a real paper, and this is like a harder paper, but this is plastic. And even though you can cut out a hole in here and wrap it, you're going to get some sharp edges, so I would suggest not using something like that. So you can cut any one of these. The good thing about this one is you cut it very easily, and it has the place right where you need to cut it. Something like this, you'll just have to work a little harder, but that works as well. So you cut out, this is what you would give to the children. You would give them something like this already. This is a little bit harder, so maybe I had planned on using this, but now that I cut this, I think that I'll just use this. So really, you can use anything to wrap. So I just showed you, I have this yarn. If you want to use holiday colors, you can. You can use an assortment of things. You don't have to use only one. You can use very large ribbon. You can use, I have here, this is the tape that's used for flower arranging. I found some of these things. You have small ribbon, and you basically just tape or staple. Maybe stapling is a little bit better. You start out by just stapling whatever it is that they want to use, and then you just give them a piece and they can start wrapping. If they get bored of doing, this is a 2-sided one, if they get bored of doing it on one side, they could switch it to the other side. They can add this, many types of things they can use. When they get to the end of their piece, you can staple it again, or if they're too young and they can't do this themselves, then just take a piece of tape and tape it on the back, and then start with the next piece. When you're all finished, you can take a piece of yarn or ribbon and just hang it like that. So now we're going to do some placemats, and I'm using, since this time of the year, you can get, if you live near a place that the colors change, or there's a way that if you don't live in the city, if a way you can get, I collected a whole bunch of nature things, and now I'm going to cut a piece of contact paper, and I'm just going to do a smaller one. There's 2 ways to do this. You can cut one piece, paste them on, and then add another piece. What I'm going to do is, just for argument's sake, I'm going to peel the whole thing and put it on one side and then fold it over. Now the trick is getting it peeled without getting the pieces stuck on anything. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, let's see. Okay, not so bad. Now, okay. Now, if you want to draw a line over here, you can do it like that, or else if you're just leaving a big one, just let them decorate any way they want. Now, something like this is a little bit bent and a little bit 3D, so you might want to just cut it up, but you have all these beautiful nature things. You're finished, you just, this is something you would have to do. Fold it over, and if you want, you can take a piece of, you can take some strips of paper and put it over here to make a border, or staple it on afterwards. And maybe it's not such a good idea to use such 3D things as I use, but that's a basic idea for placemats. Now, using the same beautiful leaves and things that I collected, we could make bookmarks, but the way we're going to do that is we're not going to use these pods. These are really too 3D. So we're going to use tape, packing tape that's nice and clear. And I just have these craft sticks, some larger, some smaller. You can do colorful ones, you can do plain ones, you can color them also to extend the activity. Get ourselves a nice piece here. The reason I'm using the craft sticks is really just to hold this in place. So let's say I would go like this, wrap it around like that, then get a nice piece like this and put it over here. Cut it and glue it like that. So now I have a piece like this to work with. And the same thing would work as we did with the placemats. We want to decorate only on one side. So here I'm putting a dot here. And we can put on here, we're not going to use as many, right? We can even cut them. Or look, let's try something like this, where we'll cut that afterwards. And maybe even this I will cut up even and use just like petals of it. They could actually make a lot of these, but okay, now you have something like that. Then you take this, you fold it over, go like that, and you fold it over. Okay, my finger is stuck there. Okay, now you fold it over like that, okay? You can take these off, then you can cut these off. And you trim this. You can take a hole puncher. Now, of course, you can cover this up as much as you want. You take a hole puncher. Let me just do it on this side. Punch a hole. Cut yourself a piece of ribbon like this. Do it here. A bookmark. So for these plates, you could use any clear plastic plates. This is a little bit fancier. You can use just regular ones that come in the package. The point is that you can see through it because we're going to decorate the back, and then they can use it with having a nice decorated back. You don't have to use tissue paper. I just decided I wanted to use it because it'll give it a nice transparent look. And you're going to use glue. Now you could use, this is just regular glue that you could use with a brush, or you can use Mod Podge. They're both okay. Mod Podge has, this one is the glossy one that has a little bit of a better gloss to it. So I'm going to use that, and I'm actually going to finish one up to show you how it looks. Again, you can use holiday colors or not, and I'm just gonna do the back of it. Spill out the pieces that you're using before you're ready to use it, because your hands are going to get very gluey, and then you're not going to be able to do it. So what I would do is I would start by putting a layer first, and once you have that layers on, you can glue on top as well. And now I'm just finishing up layering pieces of tissue paper on top of each other, using whichever colors you want, and making sure once you're all done, even if there's something that's a little bit crumpled, put that final layer of Mod Podge all over it to seal the whole thing. Now is when, if they're very young, the teacher will just cut off the edges that were left there, and you'll let it to dry, and then you'll see how beautiful it looks when it's all dry. Okay, here we have this all dry. You see it's all nice and clear and hard, and whoops, and you can see through all the beautiful colors on the back. Okay, for these necklaces, I'm going to use air dry clay. This is Crayola air dry clay, because you want it to dry. So what I would do is take a bunch of small pieces and have them just make spheres, round balls. Maybe this is a little too big, but you give them the size that they're gonna need. They make a bunch of round balls. While they're still wet, you take a pencil and you push a hole through it. Maybe you don't need such a big hole. And then, so once these are dry, you can paint them with anything. This is tempera, this is acrylics. You even have watercolors. And it is important, even though before I had said something about maybe not using a pencil, you need to have these wide enough, the holes, because otherwise the children will not be able to thread them. But once they're painted and everything is dried, you can thread them like this, and there you have a lovely necklace.